Good evening, parents. Good evening, students. This is the principal's update, last one for 2021. And I think to start by saying, I can't believe how quickly, and I'm sure you like yourselves, can't believe how quickly this term has gone. But one has also been a very difficult term with the not only lingering effects of COVID-19, but certainly, as we know, the impact on staffing and absent staff, the significant impact COVID has continued to have into this academic year. And I'll talk about that a little bit as we go on a bit more. I want to talk about initially about next week as we move into the last week of term, about some of the key dates of what's happening, a few changes across the week. And then looking ahead into next year as well and across the holidays. So I'll start with Monday on the 13th. So this Monday coming up is the AUEA Christmas dinner. So delighted to have that available for all students and staff in the day and the normal lunch periods. We've had obviously seen food shortages this year. We've seen increased costs, and therefore AUEA will be subsidising that meal to keep the cost down at £3 for the Christmas roast turkey meal, along with a pudding as well, and the menu will be attached to my email when this video will come out as well. So please do get involved and enjoy the Christmas dinner on Monday. On Wednesday, we've got our graduation event, which involves a significant number of our students who've graduated when they were in year 11, but also our returning students from university, both from a year ago and also from this summer. And that's going to be held in the afternoon and the evening. And as a result, students will be finishing early on the Wednesday. All students will finish at 1:20. So after their lunch or after their period four, after their lunch and period four if they're in the sixth form. So students and parents, please be aware you'll be finishing at 1:20 on Wednesday, the 15th of December. So next Wednesday. Then that leads us into the last day, Friday. I've heard a few vicious rumours around that Friday's not a come to school day. That is not the case. Friday is a teaching day in the morning, and students should be here at normal time, please. But it is a different day, and it is our last day of the year. So first of all, it's going to be our Christmas jumper day / non-uniform day, which will be £1 for Save the Children, which we have absolutely know is a really, really important charity, especially given obviously all of the concerns at the moment around the cases in the news around child neglect and abuse. So please get involved. £1 for Save the Children by wearing a Christmas jumper and non-uniform as part of that day. Also on Friday, then the finish time will be a half day on the Friday, on the last day. Students will finish at slightly different times. So sixth form will finish at 12 o'clock, just before the start of their lunch period, and years 9 to 11 will finish at 12:50. Please note on that day there won't be lunch served at the academy for students, but instead there'll be an enhanced break service, and also the provision for all those students in receipt of free school meals will also be available at the 11 o'clock break time as well. So please do make sure you participate and do that. So just to clarify one more time, that on Friday it's going to be Christmas jumper day, followed by also as part of that an early finish day at 12 o'clock for sixth form and 12:50. And that takes us into the Christmas holidays then. And AUEA will be closed across the entire Christmas holidays. So please make sure and remind your son, your daughter, that they need to bring back things from school, both their learning, their resources, mobile phones and things in their locker as well, because the emergency line has been shared for what is safeguarding emergencies, which doesn't include I've left my mobile in school and I need to get it. So please do make sure you take everything with you and kindly clearly empty your lockers as well, and making sure there's no perishables in there that are going to cause any smells or issues over the holidays. As I've outlined this week, and you should have had from me on Monday, it came at 7:30 on purpose, as that distinct time at 7:30 on Monday, you'd received an individual test email letter from me in regards your testing returning in January. I'm sure you're all aware from the news by now, the DfE have put in place legislation that following the Christmas period, and obviously importantly families rightly getting together and spending quality time with each other, that we have a really strong testing programme in place to ensure that we don't bring COVID-19 and especially the new Omicron, get the right word out, Omicron variant back into the academy. So as a result of that, the DfE have required all students, except where they are medically exempt, to undergo 2 lateral flow tests in that first week back of January. The first test must be conducted before the student returns to school. So we've got 2 test days that will be happening at AUEA. The first one is on Tuesday, the 4th of January, which in your diary will show as a training day, but will be open for the testing of sixth form students. Following which, on the Wednesday, will be the test day for students in year 9, 10 and 11. What that means is that lessons will not start for all students until the Thursday of that week. Okay, so the Thursday, the 6th of January, is when the lessons will start. Please also note, if you're in year 10, you have exams on that Wednesday. Okay, so on the Wednesday, you will also come in, do your test, your lateral flow test, and then also complete your 1-hour online BTEC Unit 1 engineering exam. That's a real exam, so please make sure you continue to revise for it, and do not forget it, please. It's a real exam. So January, slightly staggered start for when we return. All students coming in for 1 test in school, either on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then starting back on the Thursday. The second test will be conducted at home as normal, and afterwards to continue that testing twice weekly, please. And we're expecting, in the health professionals are saying, we're going to see a huge significant rise in the new variant in January, and it's absolutely vital that we continue, and I have your support in the home testing or lateral flow testing, please. It is providing for students a really valid measure of preventing that infection within the school environment. So thank you very much for your support so far. Looking ahead into January, other things of significance is we've obviously got our parents' evenings all in January, which will be reflecting on and looking at the progress of your child across the either last year as well, but also certainly over this term, and reflecting on their progress since COVID. That will be based on their data report, which will be coming out by Thursday, the 16th of December, so next week. And you'll be receiving a separate letter from Ruth Salisbury and Ruth Acton, my assistant principals, who will be writing to you about how you can go about making those bookings, and also some more clarity around the data that's coming to you in a term. And please do come back to us if you've got any questions, and we look forward to having some conversations with you in January, along with your child, around their progress and their targets moving forward over the next 2 terms. Other things happening in January will be as part of our New Year's resolutions that we're all doing. Of course, clearly it's New Year's resolutions for our students, and specifically focused around reading. And I would just really highlight on our Christmas list, please, and our stocking list for all students, please, can I really push parents to encourage you to add in those reading books, please. All of students in years 9, 10 and 11, and all parents will receive this week the literacy reading results from the students, which demonstrates that for a significant number of students, COVID has had a big impact on their reading. For some students, this has meant that their reading age has rapidly increased, and I know those students have accessed lots and lots of reading materials across that time, which is outstanding. But for some other students, it's actually meant that they've really decreased on their reading. This is evident in their testing, and more importantly, has a real concern of passing through into their GCSE grades. We'll also be testing in the new year the sixth form as well as part of their reading as well, and sharing that information with you. So in January, we'll see lots going on with reading, with new reading tutors going on, with wider reading activities, and clearly we ask for your support at home of promoting good quality reading in a home environment using a variety of different sources as well. So thank you for your support with that. And finally, hopefully you've picked up through conversations that I've said with students that's worked its way home. But if not, I'm delighted to formally announce that we have been just one of 9 institutions across the whole of the Midlands, and only 36 institutions, and just one of 2 UTCs across the country that received a grant under the new Post-16 expansion grant for an extension to AUEA. This is effectively a £4.85 million extension, with £3.9 million worth of grant funding coming direct from the Department for Education, and then we are investing £500,000 from our savings into this build. Some of you, obviously, well, many of you, I'm sure, will know the site will be going, where on earth is a building going? And it's literally going to be going outside this window here. In fact, where I'm sat now will potentially be disappeared into a corridor, into a new wing, which will effectively sit where the ramp is that currently enters the school, and we'll be looking at other options around the reception in the school as well. As we go through in the early stages of planning, early stages of architectural drawings, but what I can say is we're seeking to update and provide additional facilities much needed. If I remind you that our building was designed for 600, and this new building has been designed for our new approved number of 800 students from September 23. Bear in mind, we're already well past halfway to that at 720 students already in the building. So the new building will have additional dining facilities, it will have additional learning facilities such as library, LDC and learning spaces, as well as specialist classrooms. And that's obviously at the moment being put together, but our wish list at the moment is for additional science classrooms, electronics, workshops, as well as some exciting new facilities such as a cyber and digital laboratory as well. So lots of really exciting things to keep you posted on. One of the things I'm keen about is the fact that students are heavily involved with the process of the design and engineering and build of the whole of the new building, and we'll be advertising roles in January for post-16 students to actually join the board of architects, M&E, engineers, structural engineers and project management as well. And this will give chance for students in the sixth form to gain real work experience on a real world project, which hopefully I know will mean a lot to them as well. So lots more coming about that, and I'll keep you posted as we go over the next year on the build, and hopefully that'll be in place over the next 14 months, ready for the start of that next academic year. So finally, it just gives me a chance to say thank you so much for all your support, as I said, which has been a very difficult and challenging term. We had hoped that we'd seen the legacy of COVID-19 and would be starting 2020 and 21 without this going on. And in actual fact, I think we've seen the impact of COVID-19 the most in this term. Of course, as a parent, I know that gives you great concern, and absolutely when staff are absent from school, and we've seen the increase across the whole country of where teachers have been impacted, especially with young children and those children sent home from school, the impact that has in the classroom. I reassure you that we work actively to make sure that we have qualified teachers at AUEA, but I also remain shocked and extremely disappointed by the quality of supply teachers that we see around the West Midlands, and I'm afraid that I will not be able to condone poor quality teaching at the academy, and we will not retain teachers who do not meet the needs of supporting your child to the best that they can do. As a result of that, we are actively working and continue to work to increase our own staff body of teachers, of tutors and wider staff to support your child to make sure they're not disadvantaged throughout this period. And I work very closely with the Department for Education and others on the succession and opportunities in terms of planning towards the exams and making sure that every child has got the full advantage towards those examinations or additional teacher assessed grades should we reach that point as well. I thank you for that support. I really do appreciate it. Obviously, the news of Omicron has brought increased concern as we move into the new academic year. But what we've demonstrated today is that our procedures do work and do work well in support with at home. And therefore, it's absolutely vital that I ask you to continue those lateral flow testing across the period of Christmas, and especially going back into return into January, both with the compulsory test at AUEA as well as that additional testing at home. Please don't send your child to school if they are feeling ill, okay? It's important that we give that incubation period of those 3 days to find out whether or not it is COVID. That's something we have seen quite a lot this term, is that 3-day incubation period. And together we can work to make sure that we have a fantastic new year and a fantastic new start to January. So it just leaves me to say a huge Merry Christmas to all of you, however you celebrate it. Most importantly, to spend good quality time with each other and with your families, and a happy new year to you, and I look forward to seeing you in January. Take care. Thank you.